Okay, here we go. Op2 part 2. We'll start working these columns a bit better. Start off facing. Do a dynamic with a 30% step over. Double check my depth. Okay. All that looks good. Planes are correct. All right. One thing forgot to do. Let's go in real quick while we remember. Set these to manual 0. If you're not getting the little message that pops up, it could be because you're not pressing enter after you type in the 0. So make sure you do that. Alright, let's go back to WCS here. C and T on the left post. Alright, so facing. Alright, looks good. Now I'm going to do a semi-finish on the first section of the column. Do it with a contour. Alright, want to make sure our arrow is pointing in a clockwise direction. Sticking with that 1/4 inch flat end mill. Cut parameters, I'm going to use computer. Don't really need a cutter comp at this point, so I'm just going to do a semi-finish. I'm going to do a ramp, 25 thousandths per pass. I'm going to leave 5 thousandths on the walls. Do a lead in, lead out. I'll make it 20. Doesn't need to be huge. Alright, depth is going to be to this first step. Top of stock. Planes are good. Then we'll do a finish pass. Copy that one down. I'm just going to change parameters to wear compensation, 2D contour, leave nothing on the walls. Lead in, lead out's good. Everything else should be good. Green check it. Let's hide that. There we go. Save. All right. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other boss. So I'm gonna hold the control key, select those three operations, right click and drag it down, copy after. Then I'll do a right click, edit selected operations, edit common parameters, change the planes from left post to right post on the tool and the construction plane. Green check, green check. Then I gotta go and update my geometry. So right click, rechain all. Let's grab that one. Check. Gen. Okay. Same now for the ramp. We want to make sure geometry's going the right direction, clockwise. Green check, green check. Gen. Alright, so let's see. Should be fine, but if we're worried about the lead in, lead out, right, can do a little back plot. And it's fine, it's not even close. If it were, you could just go in to your lead in, lead out and click this one, enter exit at midpoint, and that will change your lead in, lead out to the other side of the circle. So that works on any circle. All right, so now right click on the geometry, hold the right mouse button down, drag it down to the next toolpath, and replace. Oops. I can regenerate that one. All right, same thing, lead in, lead out. We don't really want it on that side, so go to the lead in, lead out, enter exit at midpoint, switch it over to the other side. All right, I like to save a lot, so. All right. So just working our way down. Next, I'm going to do the grooves before we continue down the columns. So for the grooves, we're going to be using a key cutter. Let's see. Post. So we'll do another contour. I'm going to select the lower one right there and right there. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch diameter key cutter. There. So it's got 60 thousandths cut thickness. Just so happens that our little grooves are 60 thousandths wide also. So that's ideal. I think that tool does not have 12 flutes. All right, let's see. Holder. I'm going to give you guys all this stuff, but in case you want to build these on your own. Okay. Parameters, where, lead in, lead out, multi-passes. You go one and one spring pass. All right, for the linking, for this one, since I'm doing both of the grooves in one toolpath, I'm going to use incremental 0 for my depth because I chose the bottom of it. So it automatically gives me the depth if that's what I want to use. So incremental 0, that. Then just real quick, I'm going to go back to my finish pass. Forgot to activate that, so I want to do. I always like to do a spring pass on the finish passes. So there's the finish pass for the right post, and then finish pass for the left post. 1-1. Okay. All right. So there's the grooves in the left post. So we do the same thing for the right post. Copy after. Rechain the geometry. Okay. So that's going the wrong way, right? It's going counterclockwise. That will not be climb milling. So we'll flip that around with this little reverse key. And then that. Come in here. Change my plane to right post. That. There we go. We now save again. See, let's do a little verify real quick. I'm getting there. All right, let's continue down those bosses. We're on the left boss right now, left post. That. Back to the flat end mill. And I'm going to do a little ramp. No multi-passes on the ramp. Linking. So let's see. Back to absolute on the depth and see how deep we can go. Top of stock. I'm gonna have to set that down here because otherwise it'll start ramping from the very top. All right. See what that does. Looks like it may be hitting the other side, but we'll have to do a back plot to see that. Oh, close, but it doesn't hit, so we're good. All right. Do the same thing on the other boss. Don't forget to change your plane. Okay. Probably want to get rid of these ears hanging out next and start knocking that down as well. All right. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna attack those ears on the side now. Left post. The contour. Start partial loop. Start here on this flat and picking it on the right half so that my contour goes that way. Stop it on the other flat right there. Use the 1/2 inch end mill. Wear comp 2D. Alright, gonna do some multi passes. 4 50 thousandths, 1 spring. Blinking. It's gonna be down here to kind of, so let's go right about there. Okay, looks pretty good. So do the same thing on the right side. Again, start on the flat. You want to go clockwise, so start on the left side of this flat, that edge right there. And then the end of our partial loop will be this flat right there. Green check. And then switch planes. To the right post. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and get that back material there on this sort of flat plane there, so we're going to need a new plane for that. So let's see, from solid face, select right there, my X pointing to the right, and then right here I'm going to choose reselect to move the origin to my origin there, and then I'm going to call this plane back flat. And I can set the work offset right here also, manual 0. You can check. Alright, so yeah, I want to get that sort of material that's there and sort of finish that, the flat areas. So, set C and T for my back plane and back to my 0, 0 for WCS. Do a contour, single edge. Choose this one right here. Sticking with that 1/2 inch end mill. And I'm gonna say I want the edge of the end mill to go a little bit past that edge, just so there's no like little lip or burr there or whatever. So I'm gonna put minus 0.05 stock to leave on wall, so that will make the edge of the tool go past that geometry I selected by 50 thousandths. Right, and then I think I'm going to probably extend the beginning and the end like 50%, and multi-passes because I do want it to come out to somewhere in here, because we already finished those flats, and then so we need it to come out to this area where that material still is. So let's go with 4 at 150. We don't need a spring pass because we're not finishing any walls. And depth will be right there. top of stock is not doing depth cuts, so it doesn't really matter, but we'll put 1 inch incremental and then retract 1.25. Let's do clearance because it's gonna rotate. So let's go with like a, let's try 6-inch clearance. Let's see, only at the beginning and the end of the operation. Let's see, hit the little apply, see what that looks like, and that should get all the material. So I'm also going to go back to that previous toolpath and add the clearance on there as well. Actually, let's go to 9. Start and end. Okay. There we go. I think before we start digging in there any deeper and making those thin flexural areas, probably want to finish whatever we got up at the top, just do some deburring. So let's close that. Those. Take my planes back to A0, C0 for everything. Save. I do that all the time. Let's go ahead and do one of our multi-axis deburrs. Grab a 1/8 inch diameter ball end mill. Fluter. Give it a holder. The holders are all in here. It's just to get down to the call it chuck, so you gotta scroll down pretty far. Like that. And let's put a 0.75 for right now, just to see how that looks. Alright, cut pattern, machining geometries, triple click the model. Alright, edge definition, I'm gonna user define. So I want to do this one, that one, and that one. Alright, just kind of the stuff at the top that's finished. Check. Let's see. I'll go with about 6 thousandths. Okay, like that. Like all that stuff. It's gonna be 5-axis. Fixed to main Z. Stuff all looks fine. Okay. Coolant on. See what that looks like. Yeah, it's a little close. A couple areas. We can fix that if we just go here. See what that does. It's getting a little crazier. And it's not going all the way around, so I might need to reduce those back a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Keeping that tool a little further away from the post, like that. Awesome. Okay. So I want to start roughing out these grooves here for the flexure. They kind of look flat, but they're actually not. I mean, again, like flat to the plane we already created. They're slightly like rotated, so you can see if we go, let's just go to the back plane, back flat. Right. So looks like they're kind of planar, but go to dynamic. You can watch right over here. The Z changes as we move around. Right? So best option is going to be multi-axis curve. Um, and then yeah, so it's It's 1/4 inch wide, and then the radius in there. Dynamic, sorry, dynamic. So you can use dynamic, and then click on a surface, and you can get the radius of it. You can get angles, get good stuff off of it. So, yeah, so it's 1/4 inch wide with a 62 radius. So we'll cut those with the end mill of that parameter. So let's see, make some geometry for the tool to follow. Go up the line. I'll connect those lines. Fill it. It's an easy way to connect them. Just like that. So again, multi-axis toolpaths, you want your planes to be WCS, C, and T on your 0, 0. So let's do that. And let's go with multi-axis curve. Tool is going to be bullnose, 1/4 inch diameter, 62 radius. Three flute. Again, give it 1 inch stick out for now just to see how it looks. So 3D curves. Like that. And then I want the center of the tool to follow that path, right? So turn that off. Compensation is going to be off. 0 radial offset. Let's see, tool axis control is going to be surface. I'll select the two surfaces right there and right there. Alright, 5-axis, X, 0, 0, 3. Okay, all looks good. Projected curve looks good. Linking. So I don't want the center of the tool to start right there because then it'll be plunging into material, right? So it's kind of like a lead in, lead out, right? That's what we're doing. So I'll say 75%. Right. And then I'm also going to do some depth cuts. maybe 5. See, didn't measure how deep that was. Going on. Let's see what we got. All right, it's pretty good. All right, so maybe a couple changes. Um, it's got a good lead in, but I want it to lead out also. I don't want it to stop right there. So let's go back here. Let's go exit. 75 as well. And then I'm going to go let's take it a little easier. 9. Then we'll do a finish at 5,000. Let's see. All right. Looks good. So we'll go back and do the other side now. All of our parameters should be the same. There we go. Just love watching the movie. So while we're still kind of in this orientation, I want to get this little kind of surface flat here. So let's do a see, I need a plane for that because that's front. Yeah, I'll just do another axis. That edge. Doesn't quite work. I need to move over. So it's better. Computer comp 62 radial. So now we should get the flat part of the end mill to just hit the flat part here. And then we'll get a little radial blend right there instead of that sharp corner. Let's see what it looks like here. So next I'll take out these grooves here on the outside. I'm going to use the same curve 5-axis and the same tool. So first I'm going to just draw these lines real quick. I guess we don't even need to do that, do we? We can just use the solid edge. Play with our offset. So yeah, let's do it that way. These are still good. So curve, same tool. Alright, 3D curve. There. We'll see what happens. Oh, looks good. Let's see. Oh yeah, we need to add our depth cuts back in there. I think. Yeah. Let's do the other side. Oops. Forgot to add my surface. There we go. Easy peasy.